You know his lady has no headphones.
Oh, I didn't hit it on time.
What's happening?
He was a little late. Yeah. Good morning, Angela Yee.
Hey, good morning, TJ.
What happened? You telling me I ain't hit it right? That's what you telling me?
No, you didn't hit it right. You ain't got no headphones on. You was all off beat and everything.
Your rhythm was off? Damn,
Your rhythm was off.
Try to walk in like he been there.
I'll get my stroke right next time, Envy. Don't worry
He
about
tried to hit it. He tried to hit it on point. He couldn't get it on point.
Ooh, so you're not satisfied with what you're telling me?
A little too slow, a little too soft.
Oh, my God. Jesus, Envy.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Hump day.
Yes, it is Wednesday, Hump Day. Now, Angela Yee behind the scenes was telling me a story.
Yeah, we'll talk about it, but I'm in L.A. I got my Gracie Award last night, so
congratulations
shout out to all of the winners from the Gracies. Amazing. It was all women that were winning awards. And so anyway, this morning I was on my way here. I called the lift, and I'm downstairs in the hotel, and some guy is in the lobby, and I guess he must have thought I was in another room and stole his belongings.
It sounds like he thought you knocked off one of his friends and stole from his room.
I don't know who his friend was, but he kept saying, well, you're coming from room 927. There's not even 9 floors in the hotel.
Jesus.
So then he proceeds to follow me outside and tells me that I'm stealing and stealing is wrong and he's not trying to let us leave. And so then the lift pulls up and the lift we get in the car and we're like, just go, pull off. And the lift driver won't pull off. He's engaging with this guy. Then the cops come. Yeah, it's just all kinds of drama. Just for me to get to work.
They thought you was a prostitute or something?
I don't know what happened to this
Thought he stole
person.
his Rolex or something.
Some hood rat chicks?
But he thought somebody stole some items from a room that didn't exist at this particular hotel.
Now, are you sure you're not trying to get in front of something?
You didn't steal nobody's Rolex, no jewelry? Because stealing is bad,
I had absolutely no idea what he was talking about at first when he came down. When he said, hey, are you here with Varane somebody from room 927? I was like, no, I'm not. I just thought he was looking for someone.
Stealing is bad, if you don't know. Stealing is bad.
But I tell you this, his eyes were open wide like he was on something.
He probably was at 4-something in the morning, or 3-something in the morning in L.A., 2-something. What time was it? 2-3-something?
The cops came and he wouldn't leave and he was just going crazy.
Jeez.
But I made it on time.
Yeah, you did make it. Yeah, you made it on time. All right, let's get the show cracking now. Front page news, what are we talking about?
Well, we are going to talk about Lyft, and I'm glad we're doing this story this morning because they're putting all kinds of systems in place now just in case something like this happens to you.
All right, we'll get into all that when we come back. Keep it locked. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now, last night in sports, the Raptors beat the Bucks 120-102. They tied the series 2-2.
Yeah, that series is definitely going 7 games.
Yeah, so now I guess the Warriors just sit back, relax, and just
sit back
chill
and
for a minute.
heal. That's all. They got more time for KD to heal, more time for DeMarcus Cousins to heal, more time for other players to rest up, and they can go win their 4th championship.
Now, what else we talking
in
about?
5 years.
Well, Lyft has announced several new initiatives, and they announced these initiatives yesterday. It's supposed to enhance the safety of their passengers. So they're doing an in-app panic button if you need to call 911. Other things they've done is they've enlarged the driver's license plate number in the app so people don't get into the wrong vehicle, because that happens to people sometimes as well. Mm-hmm. And they're also offering sexual harassment prevention training to all of their drivers and riders because of the numerous incidents of harassment or assault that have occurred in these vehicles over the last few years. And they're also going to require passengers to provide feedback every time they rate a driver less than 4 stars. So if you do a less than 4-star rating, you have to give some feedback.
I wonder if people are going to really have time to do that, though. Meaning, like, if you give less than a 4-star rating, are you really going to have time to write a review about what you didn't like?
Yeah, a lot of times it is just you, like, giving it on a scale of, 1 star to 5 stars, what the issues were. So, like, sometimes the person talks too much. Uber now will let you require that the driver doesn't talk to you.
I'm not going to front. I would complain about smells. I can't stand smells in a car, bro. Like, if a car's, like, if you be looking around, looking at yourself, like, did I step in something?
Some cars are filthy. Some cars are disgusting. But, like, this morning
I think cleanliness is an option, too.
I don't know what happened. You just sounded like Future all of a sudden, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like, it just went, like, in the middle of what you were saying, it just went straight auto-tune. Hell yeah. All I heard was something smells, and then it was just, like, auto-tune.
And then it turned into a robot. All right, on Sesame Street, there's a new character named Carly, and Carly is a Muppet who is in foster care. Check it out.
Why is Carly so sad? I don't really want to tell you about it.
She's having a hard time, Elmo, but we're here for her. We're her for now parents.
What does for now parents mean?
Sometimes even mommies and daddies need some help taking care of their children. Carly's mommy's been having a hard time, so we are her foster parents or her for now parents.
What the heck?
Yes.
I didn't see one person ever throughout my whole life check on Oscar the Grouch and wonder why he was even in a mother effing trash can. You know what I'm saying? You ain't never heard nobody console Oscar like that. In fact, they call him a grouch. You'd be grouchy too if you lived in a trash can. Where was the empathy for Oscar the Grouch? Now all of a sudden this new person on the scene and they getting all this empathy because they don't got no parents? Oscar ain't have no parents either, clearly.
And Mrs. Nephilepicus looks like he had some issues as well.
Oh, he always looked like he was crying. I didn't see all that empathy. I didn't see all that empathy and sympathy back in the day on Sesame Street for characters that we clearly saw were in pain.
All right, well, the NFL, speaking of being in pain, and the NFL Players Association has announced a new mental health initiative. So the new initiative requires that every team has to employ a mental health professional to work in the building, and also could potentially lead to a change in the league's attitude toward marijuana as far as pain management treatment. So they're going to explore all of the strategies that help a player deal with acute and chronic pain as well.
I love it. This should be in every corporation. We need this in schools. You need social emotional learning in schools. You need grief counselors in these schools. You need people that can help you with your trauma in all of these different organizations, man. People come to work every day dealing with something. People go to school every day dealing with something. So, yes, they should have somebody to talk to. So that is beautiful what the NFL is doing.
All right.
Well, that is your front page news. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you're upset, you need to vent, hit us up right now. Maybe you had a bad night. Maybe you had a horrible Lyft or Uber story, whatever it may be. Call us now. 800-585-1051. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
This is your time to get it off your chest, whether you're mad or blessed.
So you better have the same energy.
We want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
Hey, this is Brian B. from the 843.
843, Low Country, what's happening?
Nothing much. I'm in my semi on working. Just want to spread some positivity.
Okay. All right, well, let us hear that horn pause.
Spread it.
Just want to say to everybody, it's a new day. It's a new way. Let's get it. Handle what you need to handle, and just make the day a good day.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you,
That's
brother.
very positive.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate
I needed that.
that very obvious word.
All right. Hello,
Can you
who's
spread
this?
some positivity? Damn.
Yeah, what's up, MV?
Hey, what's up, Trav?
Hey, E.
Hi, Trav. I missed you.
What's up, Boo? I miss you, too. What's up, Shari?
What up, sis? How you?
I'm doing good. How y'all living? Hey, man, can I just, can I say why I'm mad this morning?
Sure.
Please.
So I'm kind of mad at Spike Lee.
Why?
What'd he do?
So he has this new Netflix movie called See You Yesterday, and I'm mad that I wasted 2 hours of my life watching that. That was like the most horrible ending to a movie I've ever seen in my life, yo. That has to take like top 3 horrible endings to a movie.
I didn't
Well,
know.
how was the rest of the movie?
It was like good enough to like keep your attention, yo, but no, I don't even care about the rest of the movie because it ended so badly that you don't care about the rest of the movie. And like Spike Lee has just like really messed up my weekend watching that movie.
I didn't know Spike Lee had a new movie on Netflix.
Yeah, it's called See You Yesterday, and I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it.
Damn.
Well,
So the rest of the movie
goddamn.
was good, but the ending was so bad it ruined it for you.
Oh my goodness, the ending was horrible. It was horrible.
So basically, that's a Spike Lee joint that you gonna pass.
Definitely, yeah. But, all right, y'all.
All right,
right.
thanks, Trav.
Movie
Hello,
critic
who's
Trav.
this?
This is Lady. Good morning. Good morning. Angela
Good
Parks,
morning.
Queens first.
Hi, lady.
Envy Charlemagne.
Hey, lady, get it off your chest.
Because I came across a text message. I was getting ready one morning, and I decided to pick up my significant other's phone just to see what time it was.
Uh-oh.
And it was on silent, and it had message from Crystal. So I flipped the phone, and I'm like, okay, it's cool. It's a girl that he used to associate himself with. But I'm asking him, like, why are you having all these lines of communication still open? If it's just you and I, if we're in a monogamous relationship, you wanted me to cut mine off, and I did. I have had no contact with anyone. No one has contacted me because I cut it off. Like, dead that. It's over. Cannot contact me. And now to find out that he's still in communication with people from his past is like, what is going on? What's going on?
It's just a little insurance policy in case you act up. He got somewhere to go. That's all. Nothing serious.
Do you know what the text said?
I'm not going to say what it said. I know what it said. Yes, I do know
what it say. Was she flirting?
She was trying. She was trying very hard, like knocking on the door, like, let me in this like right now.
And was he engaging in a conversation with her before that?
Before that, yeah. But it was like friendly. But this one, and mind you, you send this message at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, those are booty call hours.
Yeah.
He didn't
black
reply.
Is he black?
No.
Oh, well, see, yeah, she's a cheater. It's a whole cheater.
Don't
he's a
say
whole
that.
cheater. Whatever he is,
Don't
if
say
he's
that.
not black, he's a whole cheater.
Don't say
And you
that.
should know better than that.
He didn't
I can't
respond.
believe
He
you.
wasn't flirting. It might be nothing.
Yeah, I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because I thought he was black because black men don't cheat. But now that I know he's the other, he's a whole cheater.
Now, what did he say when you confronted him?
He said that she was just a friend. They saw each other in a grocery store a few weeks back.
Wow.
And they spoke, and
Wow.
she doesn't know why she decided to send the message.
These cheaters
Oh,
are still
really?
using words like that she's just a friend. Ugh.
Well, he
These
didn't
non-black
respond.
cheaters disgust me.
So he might be speaking the truth. Well, thank you for calling, Mama. All right, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up right now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Whether you're mad or blessed, we want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
Well, better.
Get it off your chest.
I just wanted to touch on the subject that you guys were talking about, like the people in the NFL, how they're going to get people to talk to them about stuff that they're going through, like especially like when it's
Therapists.
taken into your workplace. Like, I agree. Like, I feel like, you know, my sister and my 13-year-old nephew were murdered in Gary. So I'm already going through stuff at home, and I feel like work can either be your work, your pain or your peace. And I feel like work is my peace because I take care of elderly people. And the last thing I want to hear when I'm going into work is a bunch of people complaining. Like, we come into this job and we do the same thing every day. We take care of these residents. And the last thing that you want to hear is people complaining about stuff that doesn't even matter. So I understand, like, everybody needs someone to talk to, like, even me, even what I'm going through. But I feel like work is my peace. So
Well, you sound
I'm
like
listening to y'all, though.
you sound like you're the go-to person at your job, and a lot of times the go-to person doesn't have anybody to go to.
Exactly. I am. Everybody just keep looking at me like, you so strong. Like, how you holding it together? Like, you know, I'm trying my best. Like, this is something tragic that happened with us. I'm trying my best. But when I'm by myself, you know, I break down. And I think about my sister and my nephew a lot. This just happened in March. So
Damn.
I try to tell my coworkers, like, leave that where it's at. Like, and if you're going to complain, just don't come to me because you don't know. Like, it takes me, like, 5 days out the week. I'll be happy if I wake up one day having a good day, not depressed.
Wow.
You know?
Sound to me like you definitely need therapy and some type of grief counseling, baby.
Absolutely. I agree as well. But I thank you, and I listen to you guys every day.
All right. Well,
Appreciate
thank you so
Thank you,
much for
Mama.
sharing all of that with us this morning.
It's okay to not be okay, people. Go get you some healing via
Hello,
therapy.
who's this?
Shay.
Hey, Shay. Get it off your chest, Shay.
Hi, I want to get off my chest to my baby girl. I had a new baby, and she started acting out in school because, you know, the attention wasn't on her no more. But she turned it around, and I want to tell her how proud of her I am. And she will always be my first baby, and I love her. She's listening
That's
to the
nice.
radio on her way to school. So
that's
I love
amazing.
you, baby girl.
That's
Good
beautiful.
morning, baby girl.
I'm so glad I don't got to go through that. I got a 10-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 7-month-old, and my 3-year-old and 7-month-old love each other. My 3-year-old loves
man,
her
she
little
was the-
sister.
She was the
I'm
only
going through it now.
grandbaby, first everything, like, but she's lost it when I had a baby, started cutting up in school. I mean, a phone call every day, but she turned it around, and I want to tell her I'm so proud of her.
I love that.
She'll always be my first baby.
There you go.
All right. Thank you, Mama. Hello, who's this?
JB from Brooklyn. What's going on? Envy, Angela Yee, and the God.
Peace,
What's
Cam.
up,
How you?
JB from Brooklyn?
Get it off your chest.
I want to spread a little positivity, man. Good vibe this morning. I just want to see if I can get y'all some merch up there on my brand I created called Rich Fatherhood, Rich Motherhood as well. I got it for the mothers and fathers. It is basically showing appreciation for the job we do as parents. You know what I mean? Check me out on Instagram and Twitter, Rich Fatherhood.
Send
All
up
right,
some
thank you,
pieces,
brother.
my brother. Send some product.
No doubt. Send me an address. I can get y'all some merch up there, man.
All right, I'm going to get somebody to
All right,
pass it
hold on.
to you.
Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. Now, we got rumors on the way?
Man, what is going on? The City Girls versus Hazel E. We'll tell you about this social media beef that's been going on, and Hazel E. even did a diss track.
All right, we'll get into that next. Keep it locked.
Period.
It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Everybody, it's DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get to these rumors. Let's talk iced tea.
This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee. On the Breakfast Club.
So listen up.
Well, Ice-T took to social media with some advice for Amazon. Now, he put message to Amazon, now that you have regular people making your home deliveries, maybe they should wear a vest with Amazon delivery on it. I almost shot at MF creeping up to my crib last night, just saying. Now, somebody wrote, was he not wearing a delivery man uniform? And he said, no, they don't wear any uniform, just regular people working. I ain't mad at them, just saying that ish ain't safe.
Yeah, I mean,
I told y'all this last week. You know, I let the dog out on somebody last week. He came in my yard. He had nothing on. He had a U-Haul truck. And I was like scared. I let the dog go. The guy ran, and then he said he was at Amazon, but yeah, they're right.
But that's the whole point of having Amazon branding on the truck and have them wear Amazon uniforms, right?
Right. So now there was a response from Amazon. They said, just saying, thanks for the suggestion. We MFing love you and our drivers.
By the way, I'm still not going to trust that until I see a bunch of different people in Amazon uniforms and I see a bunch of different Amazon trucks. I need to know what they look like, because that can be a quick little lick for the moment. People putting Amazon logos on their vehicles and Amazon stuff on their shirts to do home invasions. That can be a quick little lick right now until people get used to it.
Also responded, lots of innovations coming on this, and many that already exist to help you track your package and delivery on a map. So that was their response.
Well, a couple people might get bit by a dog in the meantime. A couple people might get shot, but it'll eventually even itself out.
Yeah, because it's scary as hell. Scary.
All right, now let's talk about Hazel E. versus Young Miami from the City Girls. How did all of this even start? Well, it all started because, according to Hazel E, she feels like the City Girls stole her song. She had a song called Actin' Up, and City Girls has a song called Act Up. Now, we had played both of those previously, and they didn't sound alike to me. So, and I don't know that the City Girls even heard this Hazel E song. So, after that whole incident happened, Carisha, Young Miami, took to social media to let her know that she didn't know anything about her song. And she also said to Hazel E, we never heard a song by the ugly ass bitch. That surgery going to that whole head. And now Hazel E has responded and put out a diss song called Add It Up.
You burping at up every time you think of something, speak up. I've been acting up and y'all play follow the leader. Look my cousin La Hoes and y'all can swallow a leader. Copy my brand, bitch, y'all just follow the teacher. Carisha, you got a problem, now you need a feature. Half of little girls are somewhere sitting in the bleachers. No cameras, no flashes, no applause. She Joanne, the real scammer, all fraud. Careers at a standstill, the light getting dark. Now you got more time to take your son to the park.
I'm trying to be more positive. My therapist always says find something positive in everything. So I'm going to salute all the producers, engineers, studios who make money off people going to record terrible music that should be farted on.
Oh, my gosh. Now, Jocelyn actually supported that song and put Go Off Bitch in the comments. And that's when G Herbo jumped in and said, LOL, man, this is weak as hell on bro. So now all these other people are involved in the middle of this beef. So that leads me to Jocelyn having something to say. She supports Hazel E and responded with this.
Shout out to my bitch, Hazel E. And I didn't know it was a crime to support your homegirls online. And for you trolling ass, nappy headed ass, trolling ass, you know where the to find me.
Young Miami responded, I'm in Miami, where you want to meet on social media.
Yes. This is too much.
How do y'all see all this stuff?
I didn't
it's
see
all
it.
over social media. Now, Jocelyn actually had more to say about coming to Miami.
One last mother thing. Bitch, I've been on TV since you have boogers in your nose. Respect the mother throne, ho. Respect the throne before you get your head busted, asshole.
There's a throne to reality TV?
I guess. And Mona Scott Young is sitting in it. Ain't none
now,
of,
Young
ain't
Miami responded, I'm about to play with no man's on... Y'all hoes want attention, now y'all got it.
What?
On my son, I will beat either one of you hoes to death just because bitches throw drinks and pull hair across tables on TV. Don't do ish to me. I'm from Miami. I don't see none of that commercial ish. Jocelyn, you on coke badge, you get high and eat vagina for fun. Who respects you, ho?
You gonna get stupid reading all that stuff.
You was signed to QC. Nobody know you or your music. What checks you
Late.
signing? You delusional ass bitch. You was crying for Berg to help you with her career. You clown ass B.
You just gonna get dumber and dumber. You keep reading all that stuff.
Look, I was following this yesterday. Now, Young Miami also had this to say.
More?
Read up right now, y'all saying, hey, so whoever, bitch, I'm in Miami, pull up. I'm gonna show y'all how something. You think you a mother man? Me and my family go drag your ass right back to ATL, bitch, you in Miami, ho, play with me. If you mother want to. You man ass.
Why do I feel like I'm at a safari? Why do I feel like I'm at Animal Kingdom right now? Listen, I love the City Girls, right? But I need Young Miami to go back in the studio and re-record her verse on Act Up because it sounds so offbeat. Am I the only person that...
No, it's offbeat.
It is offbeat, right? I thought I was tripping. I was like...
It's my song, though.
But I ain't gonna front. They be singing offbeat in the club.
Because they be on pills. Listen, I'm like, am I too old? Or am I really hearing... She sounds so offbeat. It
No, it's
is.
definitely
Her
offbeat.
second verse, right?
Second
Because
verse is
JT
offbeat.
killing that beat. But then she comes on and it's like, what happened?
All right, well, Southside, as you know, who is Young Miami's boyfriend and producer extraordinaire, also jumped in, and here's what he said.
You look like the man that you is. I promise you, I'm gonna knock y'all on everything I love. I'm gonna beat both of y'all hoes, everything when I catch y'all hoes. Haley, you better be with it, cause I fight hoes. Y'all hoes gonna do all this and I promise y'all hoes I'm gonna beat both of y'all hoes up.
Southside, no, my brother, we don't condone that. We don't condone men putting their hands on women. That's not G, my brother. Let your sister or female cousins hold your woman down on that level. You can't, if I was Young Miami, I'd be a little afraid right now. What, you beat women? She think it can't happen to her?
All right, well, I'm Angela Yee, and that is your rumor report.
We can't condone that. No, Southside, no.
All right, well, we got front page news, Yee. What we talking about?
Well, let's talk about Kamala Harris and a new bill that she wants to reintroduce.
All right, we'll get into that next. Keep it locked. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Last night, the Raptors beat the Bucks 120-102. They tied the series 2-2.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to win that series, but I definitely believe that series is going 7 games. And it gives the Golden State Warriors a lot more time to rest up.
And heal, exactly. And what else we got, Yee?
Well, Senator Kamala Harris is reintroducing a bill from 2018 that she had, and that is to tackle racial disparities in maternal health. Now, she released this statement. Black mothers across the country are facing a health crisis that is driven in part by implicit bias in our healthcare system. We must take action to address this issue, and we must do it with the sense of urgency that it deserves. So what she wants to do is invest $150 million in programs that identify high-risk pregnancies and establish implicit bias training throughout the medical profession and medical schools. So that way they can help attack stereotypes and improve care for black women by reducing bias in judgment or behavior. They said that the ratio of deaths for white women and pregnancy-related deaths is 13 per 100,000 live births, but for black women that number jumps to 42.8.
Yeah, I mean, the bias and the lapse in judgment comes from the fact that they just think black women are so strong. You know, I saw that firsthand when my third child was born last year, because it's like, you know, we in a nice hospital. I got insurance. I got a little change, you know what I mean? And they was like, oh, we don't have any epidurals. Like, how you don't have no epidurals?
That's crazy.
Like, they didn't have no epidurals in the building. So my wife ended up having to do a natural, you know, birth. You know, that's ridiculous.
All right, now let's talk about a new Sesame Street character, a new Muppet named Carly, and Carly is in foster care. She has a foster family.
Why is Carly so sad? I don't really want to tell you about it.
She's having a hard time, Elmo. But we're here for her. We're her for now parents.
What does for now parents mean?
Sometimes even mommies and daddies need some help taking care of their children. Carly's mommy's been having a hard time, so we are her foster parents or her for now parents.
You know, no disrespect to Carly. I respect foster care kids, but I have a problem with the fact that nobody ever gave Oscar the Grouch a hug. You know what I mean? Where was his parents? Nobody cared that he lived out of a goddamn trash can. You know, they just labeled him a grouch. You'd be a grouch, too, if you had to live in a goddamn dumpster. Okay?
Did we know that he lived there, or was he just hanging out there?
Knock it off. If he was hanging out there, that's even worse. Nobody said, why are you hanging out in this trash can, Oscar, instead of being at home with your parents? Or where are your parents, Oscar?
I would say the trash can was clean.
Carly getting all this love. Oscar never looked clean. Oscar used to pop out that trash can with banana peels all over his head. We don't know what was going on in that trash can.
He clearly was eating a banana.
Stop. Knock it off.
All right, and Lyft is adding a panic button. So if you have an issue inside of your Lyft, you can dial 911 from the app. They also are doing an enlarged version of the driver's license plate number in the app so that you don't end up going into the wrong car, which people have been doing. And they're giving sexual harassment prevention training to all of their drivers and riders because of all the harassment or assaults that have occurred in ride-hail vehicles over the last few years. So all of those things they're trying to do. And they also want Lyft passengers to provide feedback. So every time you give a driver less than 4 stars, which I might have to do today, that information will then be anonymously communicated to the driver so you can see why you got that low rating. So there you have it.
All right, well, that is front page news. Now, when we come back, Humble the Poet will be joining us.
Man,
Solomon, explain to the people who that is.
I love Humble the Poet. Humble the Poet is a rapper from Toronto, but he wrote this great book called Unlearn, 101 Simple Truths for a Better Life. It's a real quick read. I read it about a month ago. I think it's an amazing book, and it's one of those books that you can, go to every day because he's got these like little 1 or 2 page, affirmations and thoughts and ideas that he has. But he's a very, very sharp individual. So I want y'all to go out there and buy this book, but also listen to Humble the Poet when he pulls up in a few moments.
All right, Humble the Poet will be kicking in with us next. And also, you can get on the phone lines right now. Ask Yee. If you need relationship advice or any type of advice, Yee's here to help you today. 800-585-1051. Don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building, Humble the Poet.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome, sir.
I've read 2 great books this year. I've read more than 2 books, but my 2 favorite books are Digital Minimalism and this book right here called Unlearn by my man Humble the Poet. You know why? Because when I saw the title of the book, I said, that is what I'm doing at this point in my life more so than anything. Unlearning. So what's more important, learning or unlearning, Humble?
It's definitely unlearning. I think at this point, there's not really a generation gap. There's just people who are open to new ideas and people who are not open to new ideas.
Oh,
if you're not open to new ideas, the only way you can do that is to let go of old ideas. So some stuff that mattered when we were teenagers doesn't matter no more. We have to let that go, and we have to continually relearn new things. The only way to relearn and to keep ourselves open is to unlearn. Let things go.
Not only does it not matter, it just don't serve us anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, a lot of us grew up in challenging neighborhoods. A lot of us grew up in challenging situations. You get certain strategies. You put up certain guards, and it made sense back then. And then you come into a whole different world, and it doesn't matter anymore. And now it's just holding you back.
Yes.
So now
Life
that
doesn't
stuff's
start
weighing you
after
down.
the obstacles. Life is the obstacles.
Straight up.
Well, let's bring it back. Let's find out who Humble the Poet is.
Yes.
Where you from? What you do? Because when they Google you, it's more than just a book. There's you rap as well. So explain to people who you are.
I get real busy. I'm from the beautiful city of Toronto, born and raised, and I was an elementary school teacher. I was working as a school teacher, and I discovered spoken word poetry. Saw someone perform and fell in love with it. And I was like, it's a great way to meet girls. I can do this. So I'm performing, doing it for fun. From that, transitioned into music, just put a beat on the back, started rapping on that, fell in love with lyricism, was doing that, but just doing it for fun. Never saw no one looking like me doing it, so never thought I could do it on a bigger level.
So you did all this while you were still being the teacher?
While I'm a teacher.
Okay.
So I'm just doing this, putting lyrics videos on YouTube, not even showing my face. At this point, I didn't even have the confidence to do that.
So your students had no idea that their teacher was...
In the first couple of years, no. And then eventually they figured it out. As I got a little bit more and more popular in the city, and I started putting out music videos, kind of learning the game. And then about probably a couple of years into it, then the students knew, and they'd be like, Mr. Singh, we see you swearing on the internet, and our parents saw you on TV and everything. So, but everyone was cool with it. I grew up in a neighborhood that was all hip hop as well. And from there, I fell in love with the lifestyle. And teachers, in Canada at least, we get paid in the summer. So I used to spend my summers just being a wild artist.
Balling out,
knowing I had money coming in from the teaching job. And I fell in love with the life. I'm hanging out with people who are nickel and dime and trying to make it all happen just through rap. And I had a little bit of a cushion with me. But at the end of 2010, I met some dudes that were like, yo, we can get you a deal, and this will pay you more than you get as a teacher. And, without thinking about it, because I was just in love with the idea, I left everything, and I got into music. And it took me about a year to realize that this deal wasn't happening.
Mm-hmm. So you never got a deal?
There was no deal.
So
damn it, man.
Who were these people?
These just producers I was working with, and these guys, one dude sold a beat to one rapper once who signed to some label out in Japan, and then he just took the paperwork, changed it up. He believed in my talents, and he just look, if I can keep finessing this, I'll probably get the money eventually.
He had good intentions, you think?
He had funny intentions, but I don't think he was trying to hurt me. But I think when he got exposed, he ran. You know, he didn't have an adult conversation with me. It was like, yo, I messed this up.
So you never spoke to him since then?
Nah, well, he ain't showing his face no more. So
does he still have you on paperwork?
No, he doesn't. No.
Oh, okay,
Nobody
okay.
has. No, his paperwork wasn't even real. He was just trying to finesse it. He was just trying to borrow from Envy and give it to Charlemagne, and then try to get it from you and give it to him after. He was just trying to finesse it.
Do you
Ponzi
forgive
scheme.
him?
Yeah, 100%. I have no ill will towards him because
So if you see him, you won't beat him up?
Not anymore. I mean, I'm in a good spot now.
Okay.
So he's what helped me pull the trigger and leave the comforts of a day job to
It's
do
part
this.
of the journey that you're on.
Exactly. And that's the thing. You know, as Jay-Z says, the loss ain't a loss, it's a lesson. And that's exactly what happened. I learned from it. So it took me about a year to figure it out. And by then, I was like living off credit cards, living off line of credit, borrowing money. I was like 80 grand in debt. I had no way to make no money. And I was just feeling sorry for myself. And, you know, taking muscle relaxers and a whole bunch of other stuff and just lying in bed, avoiding everybody. And then after about 2 weeks, it was actually J. Cole, Dollar in the Dream Part 3, where he goes, you know, you're going to let this let you turn bitter and cold, or you're going to flip this dollar, turn it into a dream. And it's probably that 2 weeks of rest as well, but I got up and I just like snapped and I was just like, I have to do something. And step one was take responsibility. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop blaming other people. You're not a victim. The only way you have power is when you find the responsibility in the story where you could have done something different and where I had control. So I had control in terms of who I trusted. I had control in terms of, was I listening to somebody's words, which sounded nice, or was I paying attention to their actions? Because actions scream, words whisper. And it took me about 4 years to get my ass out of debt, and it came from selling everything I had, moving back with my mom and dad, doing the struggling artist life that I was avoiding for so long, booking my own shows, 50 people in a room. At the same time, I just kept writing. When my studio guy stopped picking up the phone because he was having his own domestic issues, I was like, I don't know what to do. And then my friend, Lily Singh, you guys might have heard of, she's, you know, she got her own NBC show. We had just become friends at this point. She's like, figure out what you can do by yourself. And I'm like, I can write. She goes, just start writing. So I just kept writing, and I was really getting upset at all like the Tumblr quotes and all these motivational quotes I was reading, because there's nothing in there was practical. It was just like, you know, everything will work out. Just believe, just have faith. And I was like, how am I going to pay my mortgage with your motivational quotes? I needed to focus on something way more pragmatic. And when she's like, focus on what you can do by yourself, I just started writing and posting up on my Facebook back then. And people were like, yo, you're telling me my story. You know, it sounds like you live in my head. And people were like, you should write a book. And I was like, I don't know how to do that either. And then I learned about crowdfunding. Then I actually crowdfunded this book.
How much did you raise?
With 300 people, I raised $26,000.
That's amazing.
My biggest contributor was a Harvard professor I never met before. And he gave me $1,500. And he goes, I'm just proud of watching an artist take his business in his own hands.
Wow.
And he showed me a quote in his office. I went to go visit him at Harvard. He had a quote of Andy Warhol saying, business is the most interesting type of art. And I thought that was so dope. So just getting a lot of support, and then getting to this point where I was just like, yo, I have a lot of people I have to prove right.
All right, we got more with Humble Poet. When we come back, don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. It's DJ NV, Angela Yee, Charlemagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We're still kicking it with Humble Poet. Now, what did your mom say about you going from a teacher to now rapper and author?
So they saw that I was working, and they were supportive, but when I had to come back, kind of, you know, with my head down, tail between my legs, a little bit broken, there was a lot of I told you so. But I had to eat that, because it wasn't like it wasn't my fault.
Right.
You know, I had to own that. You have to own the consequences of what you do. So I owned it, and I just had to kind of start from zero and build myself back up, and just learning different people's stories. You know, a big one for me was the 50th Law, 50 Cent. I have chapters.
You quote 50 in this book a lot. You know, a word from 50 Cent. I wonder why 50 meant so much to you.
At that point, it was probably just because I picked up the 50th Law, and I just spent a lot of time reading that. And
I love that book.
It's an amazing book, and a lot of it had to do with just
fear,
and also the idea that, listen, being an opportunistic person does not mean a negative thing. It means you're finding opportunity in every situation. So, like, when this man got shot 9 times, he figured out a way to turn that into a marketing ploy. He figured out a way to sell off that. He turned himself into an 8-figure guy off that. And really understanding that there is no good and bad. I was thinking real simple back then. Like, this is good news, this is bad news. This is a good person, this is a bad person. And that book really helped me see the gray and really start to realize that, hey, in every situation, if I stop judging it and spend more time understanding it, a lot more is going to come from that. And once I understood situations, I found more opportunities. And now it's like as I said, you know, back to Jay-Z, a loss ain't a loss, it's a lesson. And you start picking up all the different jewels and gems when people speak. I mean, I've learned so much from Breakfast Club interviews. Anything from, like, Jay-Z's last interview, from, you know, Russ giving you the blueprint, from Nipsey's interview, learning about the scarcity mindset and the scarcity principles. It's just, you can learn from everybody. Everybody is your teacher when you have an open mind.
Even crackheads.
Even crackheads. You can learn from that.
I want to talk about some of your lessons, man. You say expectations are a bigger enemy to our happiness than our circumstances. Expound on that a little bit.
Yeah, so when we're unhappy is when the picture in our head doesn't match the picture in front of us. But the problem is we focus on what's happening in front of us, which we don't have a lot of control over. So for me, it became, listen, if you're not happy and you feel helpless and and things are out of control, focus on what's in your power. And the number one thing in our power, that's always in our power, is we can control our expectations, we can control our attitude, and we can control our effort. People can't take that away from us.
How does it feel when your students, your former students, hit you up now? Because I'm sure they're older now and they see you doing those things and they remember.
Yeah, they've booked me for shows. Some of them are like running student unions at their universities and stuff. It feels amazing, and it also has changed this from a privilege to a responsibility. In the beginning, I used to just be like, oh man, I'm so blessed to get to meet all these people. Now I'm like, you've met so many people, and so many people have gone out of their way to help you. There's a reason you're doing this. You have a responsibility, you know. So what took me 10 years to figure out is my responsibility to make sure someone can figure it out in 5. And then put it in their head that the next generation got to figure it out in 2. So we can start catching talent super young, supporting them, you know, building that entrepreneurship, taking all these lessons that I've been learning from hip-hop my entire life and taking it to that next level. Because for me, it was seeing Andre 3000 in that Elevators video wearing a turban. That was the first time, you know, that put, you know, that straightened out my spine and gave me some confidence and be like, look, I can fit into this culture. And, you know.
Nick Cannon doesn't give you that same confidence when you see him in his turban?
I mean, I have to have a conversation with him about it because I'm not sure. I haven't talked to him about that. I've seen him once with it. I don't know what, like, his motivations behind it.
None of us. Let's get back to some of these lessons in the book. You said the fear of uncomfortable ideas and uncomfortable situations and uncomfortable places robs us of the amazing potential that we all have.
Yeah. We really have to understand our relationship with fear. There's nothing wrong with being afraid. We're all afraid of something. And sometimes it's not even about being afraid of danger. The problem is, you know, 10,000 years ago, we had to worry about getting eaten by some next animal. Now, we're worried about going outside with a mustard stain on our shirt. Or we're going outside and somebody recognizing that we recycled the outfit, or being embarrassed or something else. And the problem with that is those fears kind of stay a lot longer. But we don't understand that we grow when we lean into the fears. And anytime we're scared, the first thing we're going to want to do is run to something that we know, run to something familiar. And that's what we call our comfort zone. You know, I always encourage people, like, find someone who doesn't believe what you believe and hang out with them, talk with them, connect with them.
That's why I don't agree with the Facebook ban. Because I think you should have people out there that challenge your ideas, challenge your thoughts, challenge your opinions.
100%. You need to be challenged. You need to have your beliefs challenged regularly. You need to be able to let them go. You need to have your biases challenged regularly. You want to be in a situation where every single day you learn something brand new, and just like, that's what makes life exciting, like learning new things. You know, if you're not growing, you're not living.
How do you handle social media personally?
I mean, I'm really fortunate. If you guys look up my comments, everyone's super nice to me. I mean, and
no one's challenging you.
no one's really challenging me. And I mean, I grew up.
Welcome to the Breakfast Club audience, sir. That will all change today.
Nah, man, the Breakfast Club audience can show me a lot of love too. I know it. So I have a thick. I don't get offended ever. I don't ever get offended. I think people can't offend you without your permission.
Word.
And nobody has permission to offend me. And so with that, even if someone says something mean to me online, if it ain't witty, it don't. I'll feel bad that they didn't put no effort in.
Right.
We can be pushed by fear or pulled by love in the exact same direction, and we just got to be a lot more self-aware and pay attention to that. I think every single person, one of the secrets, it's not even a secret, but one of the simple mind shifts we can all make to feel better about life is think about yourself in terms of how you can bring value to other people. You know, and when you can bring value to other people, that'll help you pay your bills. That'll help you move farther in life, because it's what you do for other people which matters, and that's what's going to be left here when you're long gone.
Yeah, I feel like that's your true purpose in life, is service to others.
Yeah, and Sikh heritage, the heritage I grew up in, it's called seva, and that's what it was. And it was everything from cleaning people's shoes to serving people food to, you know, sharing your knowledge, sharing your gems, you know, understanding what can I do for you.
Right. You say it's healthy to have a bunch of emotions occupying your heart as long as you clean up afterwards. So how would you best advise somebody to clean up their emotions?
So the analogy that I read that was best is like, you know, all your emotions are important, and you're kind of the hotel room. So every day a new emotion checks in, And sometimes the emotions leave the room spick and span spotless, and you're grateful to have them, and other rooms just trash it like a rock star. And you own the hotel, and it's your job just to clean up and get ready for the next guest. So, you know, every emotion exists for a reason. Like, pain is important. Pain tells us things. You know, regret is important. It tells us something. It tells us, hey, revisit that memory until you learn something from it. If you haven't learned nothing from it, we're going to keep poking at you until you do. So often we have this idea, and I think we got it from TV, you know, or movies or religion, that, you know, you can live happily ever after. You know, you hit this certain level, now you can just live out your life happy. But there's no such thing as everlasting happiness. There's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be bullshit. There's always, no matter who you are, no matter how much money you got, it's always going to be there. Some of us are going to be fortunate enough to choose those problems. Right. Some of us are going to be fortunate enough to be in a situation where those problems are exciting and those challenges are there, but they're not going anywhere. So let go of that promise that you can be happy, you can live happily ever after. Stop looking at somebody's Instagram and thinking that they got it all and they're always happy. We're all dealing with different things. And the moment you're able to lean into that and you're like, look, I'm looking forward to today's challenges. You know, I'm going to embrace these things. I'm not going to judge today as a good day or a bad day. I think you're completely free, and now you can learn, grow, stay stimulated, and have as much fun as you want on this planet.
All right. Well, Unlearn, you can pick it up right now.
Man, y'all got to go get Unlearn.
Man,
I love
thank
it
you so much, man.
Humble the Poet, we appreciate you for joining us. It's the Breakfast Club.
And thank you for the gifts.
Thank you.
Everybody, it's DJ NV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
What's happening?
Information about Humble the Poet, too. A lot of people have been hitting me. What's the name of the book, Charlamagne?
The book is called Unlearn, 101 Simple Truths to Live a Better, 101 Simple Truths for a Better Life. And it's a really great read, man. You can go follow Humble the Poet. He's actually a great follow on Instagram, too. His Instagram is at Humble the Poet, and it's spelled T-H-E. Not Negro Ebonics, but he's a very, very, very sharp dude, man. And his book is called Unlearn, because I feel like at this point in my life, I am unlearning more than I am actually learning, if that makes any sense. So that's why, that's why I gravitated towards that book. I mean, there's just a lot of things that I grew up believing and thinking that just don't serve me anymore. So I'm doing a lot of unlearning. That's why, and that's when I saw that title, I was like, oh, that looks interesting, and I read it, and I loved it. So salute to Humble the Poet.
All right. Well, Yee.
Yes.
We got rumors on the way. What are we talking about?
Yes, we'll talk about one of your favorite talk show hosts who has renewed their contract.
Okay. All right. We'll get into that next. Keep it locked. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get to these rumors. Let's talk Ellen.
It's about time. What's going on? Rumor report. Rumor report. This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee on the Breakfast Club.
Well, there were rumors that Ellen DeGeneres was ready to step away from her daytime talk show, but it looks like those rumors were false. She tweeted out a video talking about extending her contract for 3 more years.
So I have been doing this show for 16 years. That's about 3,000 episodes. It's been a lot of fun, and 16 years is a pretty good run. Sometimes in a relationship, you need to take a break. But I don't. You're stuck with me because I just signed for 3 more years.
I like the misdirect. Thought she was about that. Now she was retiring. But she didn't.
She's back. Well, she's not going anywhere. All right, now, Jessica Alba, she talked about her relationship with her own body. She was doing a Goop Health conference in L.A. over the weekend, and she was there during a talk with Gwyneth Paltrow, Taraji, Olivia Wilde, and Busy Phillips. And she said that because she was voluptuous and had a booty, her family would not let her wear certain types of clothing. She said, then I stopped eating a lot when I became an actress. I made myself look more like a boy so I wouldn't get as much attention. She said she also felt preyed upon by men when she was first starting out in Hollywood. She said nothing about being successful in this business is easy. She said you can't be bitter, but she did admit that she has faced sexism both in Hollywood and in the boardroom because she does have her honest company. She said certain people in Hollywood underestimated me. They absolutely 100% thought I was nuts. But as a woman, as an actress, I've dealt with that before. I've dealt with people undermining me. I've dealt with people thinking that I would do anything to get ahead and be successful. So good for her that she's managed to still overcome all of those struggles that she's had and everything that she's felt about her body and still become successful, because that can really take a toll on you. All right, now let's get into Lil Nas X.
He's still calling himself that?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's his name still. and Old Town Road. That song has been so successful for him that he did something really nice for Billy Ray Cyrus, who jumped on the remix. Check it out.
What's up, everybody? We're about to pull up at Billy Ray Cyrus's crib, and I'm posting.
What are you doing here, man?
Yeah, I got you something. I got you something.
What are you talking about?
I need you to come out here. I need you to come out here. It's yours. Old Town Road, #1, 7 weeks.
Hey, 7 weeks, man. Wow.
He bought him a
That was pretty dope.
Maserati.
That was the Maserati that was actually in the video, and that was pretty dope that he did that.
He making that kind of money already?
7 weeks at #1. He's performing like crazy,
Yeah, he should
and
be
I'm sure he
making
got
some
some
show money.
sponsorship. I'm sure he got some sponsorship from Postmates because he said Postmates like 3 times, but it's still dope.
I ain't gonna front though. He keeping some good records from being #1. I love that Ed Sheeran and Justin Bieber record. I don't care, baby. I ain't gonna front. It debuted at #2, but man, that record jamming, ain't it? I don't care.
Well, maybe later on, somewhere down the line, that'll be #1.
Maybe.
All right, Young Thug and AEG and AVI Entertainment have announced a brand new indoor live event concept. It's called Family Business, and it's a curated event that will take place August 31st in Dallas, Texas. They said we're not about being the multi-stage festival with 3 stages and everyone and their mother on the lineup. There's enough people in the market and very respected people doing that already. We don't want to get in that lane. There's so much opportunity right now with hip-hop. There's so many things that haven't been done yet. So they are talking about adding different artists. They're going to announce 7 additional artists on May 29th. Besides Young Thug, tickets do go on sale on May 31st. So I guess we don't know a whole lot about it yet, but they're going to also expand that event into multiple markets in 2020.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm Angela Yee, and that is your Rumor Report.
Thank you, Miss Yee. Charlamagne.
Yes.
Who you giving that donkey to?
You know, I need Dr. Ben Carson to come to the front of the congregation. We'd like to have a word with him. And please, bring your milk, because I think we're going to have cookies.
All right. We'll get into that next. Keep it locked. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Yes. Donkey today for Wednesday, May 22nd, goes to the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Dr. Ben Carson. Now, I don't know why I thought Dr. Ben Carson stepped down from this position, but he didn't. Well, what, right? No. He's leaving after Trump's first term. Yes, he's leaving after Trump's first term. Well, hopefully his only term. Now, yesterday, Dr. Ben Carson testified before Queen Maxine Waters' Financial Services Committee for the first time since Maxine became the chair in January. If it is true that you never get a second chance to make a first impression, well, Dr. Ben Carson blew it. All right. Now, quick backstory on Dr. Ben for those who don't know. He's a former brain surgeon and Republican presidential candidate who our celebrity-in-chief, Donald J. Trump, nominated as his HUD secretary in 2017, despite him having 0 relevant experience. Now, Dr. Ben was trying to defend a budget proposal that would cut 16.4% from HUD's budget. He was also questioned about a plan HUD announced last year to impose rent increases of as much as 150% on people who lived in subsidized housing. Now, if you thought Dr. Ben Carson had no idea what he was doing as Secretary of HUD, well, this exchange confirms it, okay? Because there's a basic housing terminology. I know a little basic housing terminology. Like, Envy, I know you know some basic housing terminology, right?
Correct.
You know what affordable housing is for the most part, mixed-use housing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We know what opportunity zones are. We know what AMIs are, right? PMVs, American Medium Income, Present Market Value. Okay, we all know some basic housing terminology. Well, we might know more basic terms about housing than the Secretary of HUD, Dr. Ben Carson, because Representative Katie Porter asked Dr. Ben about a common acronym used to describe foreclosed properties. She asked him about REOs. REOs. That's an R, an E, and an O. Okay, would you like to hear what Dr. Ben Carson thought she was talking about? Let's listen.
I'd also like you to get back to me, if you don't mind, to explain the disparity in REO rates. Do you know what an REO is?
An Oreo?
Not an Oreo. An REO. REO.
Real estate?
What's the O stand for?
E, organization?
Owned. Real estate owned. That's what happens when a property goes to foreclosure. We call it an REO.
Okay.
She had to explain it to him. Was this at MB seminar?
If he was at my seminar, he would have learned.
Now, when you're talking foreclosed properties, an REO stands for real estate owned. Okay, if you want to snack with some warm milk, if it's Christmas and you're trying to leave Santa something to snack on, an Oreo is a chocolate sandwich cookie. Now, let me tell you something. Dr. Ben was doing something called psychological projection with that statement. I'm no neurosurgeon. I didn't even go to college. I graduated from night school in 1998, and my graduating class was supposed to be 1996. So that tells you all you need to know about me. All right? But psychological projection is a defense mechanism in which the human ego defends itself against unconscious impulses or qualities. So I think Dr. Ben has an unconscious impulse to defend himself when he hears the word Oreo. Because he has been called one so much in his life, okay? An Oreo is a black person who acts white. You know, black on the outside, white on the inside. Now, I don't like that term because black people are not monolithic, and there's no way to act black, and there's no way to act white. All right? Just because Dr. Ben Carson is a well-educated neurosurgeon who doesn't speak fluent nigger doesn't mean he's acting white. Okay, so I don't agree with calling people Oreos, but I can see why you would call Dr. Ben Carson one. And I truly believe, you know, he's been called one his whole life, that it was a psychological projection, okay? He feels like Milk's favorite cookie. So when he heard that, he just got defensive, all right? He was ready to prove that he did not consist of 2 chocolate wafers and he was not full of sweet cream filling. All right, if Katie Porter had really called Dr. Ben Carson an Oreo, he was ready to reply, "You don't know me. I am Big B from the D. And you will put some respect on me." All right, y'all don't know Big B from the D. All right, the Big B from the D from the streets. Let's hear Big B talk that talk.
As a teenager, I would go after people with rocks and bricks and baseball bats and hammers.
Right. Carson describes punching a classmate with a lock in his hand.
At age 14, another teenager angered me, and I had a large camping knife. And I tried to stab him in the abdomen. Unfortunately, under his clothing, he had on a large metal belt buckle. And the knife blade struck with such force that it broke.
Ooh, Big B from the D. Dropping the clues bombs with Big B from the D. Oreo? He's no damn Oreo. That's Big B from the D. How dare you call him an Oreo? Now, Big B from the D decided to play along, and he got on Twitter and posted a picture of him holding a pack of family-size Oreos. Now, I am a stern believer of living your truth. It's the Eminem and 8 Mile theory. I wrote about it in my first book, Black Privilege, and I guess since Big B from the D is from Detroit, he decided to take a page out of B Rabbit's book and say everything about himself that any hater could possibly say. So he held up that pack of Oreos. Well, it worked for B Rabbit. It don't work for Dr. Ben Carson, because even though I don't agree with the term Oreo, I can see why they call him that, right? You can't take a picture with a pack of Oreos, just like R. Kelly can't take a picture in front of a high school. All right, OJ can't pretend to be Jason Voorhees for Halloween. It's just some things that should not be done, and an Oreo holding a pack of Oreos is one of them. Look, if you don't know something, don't pretend to. Okay, I'm not an expert at anything. I just have some experiences, and when you don't know, like Dr. Ben Carson, or have any experiences in a certain field like Dr. Ben Carson, then you end up mistaking REOs for cookies. I'm smart enough to know I'm dumb. Okay? You have to be smart enough to know you're not very smart. Or you can be like Dr. Ben Carson and not be smart enough to know everything, but be dumb enough to try anything, including being the Secretary of HUD, when you have no idea what the hell you are doing. Please let Remy Ma give Dr. Ben Carson the biggest hee-haw.
Hee-haw, hee-haw. You stupid motherfucker. Are you dumb? So there was no job requirements or anything?
Clearly not.
Not at all.
Clearly not. I mean, I can see where you can get some acronyms messed up. Like if somebody came to me and said NBA right now, I probably think Young Boy, you know, before anything. You know what I'm saying? If you came to me and said PSA, I think of Jay-Z and Just Blaze. Allow me to reintroduce myself. You know what I'm saying? But I would get back focused in 2 seconds.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that donkey today. Up next, Ask Yee. 800-585-1051. If you need relationship advice or any type of advice, call Yee now. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Everybody, it's DJ NV Angela Yee. Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. It's time for Ask Yee. Let's go to the phone lines. Hello, who's this?
Chris.
Hey, Chris. What's your question for Yee?
Hi, Chris. My name is Chris, calling out of Columbia, South Carolina right now. South Carolina in the building.
Metro 803.
Well, you know what? But I'm from the 843, Hemingway, South Carolina. Charlamagne know where that's at.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Barbecue capital. But anyway, Yee, I got a question for you. If I just recently got out of the hospital for 4 days and not one family member that lives in the area came to visit me, is that right?
Of course not.
No.
Is that the whole question?
Yeah, that's one of them. Here's a follow-up question. If my emergency contact lives in Fort Mill, South Carolina, and I'm in the hospital for 4 days with a degenerative muscle issue, is that right for them to just call me Or do you think it's their social responsibility to drive that hour?
They definitely should have come to see you. They definitely should have come. And I would have said, are y'all coming to see me or what's happening?
I did that.
Okay. Well, I think we know what that is. Wow.
Don't nobody
Clearly
love you, bro.
You don't get along with your family?
I try to, but they definitely don't treat me the way I treat them.
They don't love you, bro.
Stop it.
That's the truth. My daddy told me that one time. My daddy said, the people that don't come visit you in the hospital don't give a damn about you.
And thank you, Charlamagne. My dad told me the same thing.
Well, you better listen to our daddy.
And you know what? Just because people are family your family doesn't mean you automatically love each other, just so you know.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I like I say all the time, I got 4 friends that's family to me than my own family.
Right.
Well, what were you in the hospital for?
I had it's a degenerative muscle. It's 5. I can't even remember the name of it. It's but I was right at Richmond downtown. But anyway, I was in the
I ain't go
hospital.
front. I wouldn't go see you either if you don't even know what's wrong with you, bro.
DJ Envy, listen, man. If I don't know what's wrong with me, the natural consensus is to go to the hospital, call 911, correct?
Correct.
Right,
He was there for 4 days. They should have gone to see him.
They came up with a diagnosis that it was a rare muscle issue, but both my legs seized up on, and I couldn't move. My nephew.
That happens to me all the time when I'm on the toilet.
That's scary.
Yeah. My nephew, I never felt this pain before in my life. I wouldn't wish that on the devil. That's hard. That's a lot to say.
All right, brother. Well, they should have came and seen you then, bro.
I'm glad you're feeling better, but you know it's even more important that you have friends who are your family.
Yes, I did have friends that were calling me from Hemingway, South Carolina. I used to work with when I grew up down there. So,
well, you might need to have your funeral in Hemingway then, because if you have your funeral in Columbia, it's going to be whack.
I hear you, Charlamagne. You know what it is.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother.
All right, sounds like some less obligations for you.
Thank you very much. Y'all have a wonderful day.
You too now. All right, Ask Ye, 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, you can hit us up at any time. Call us now. It's The Breakfast Club. Everybody, it's DJ NV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We're in the middle of Ask Ye. Hello, who's this?
This is Frenchie.
Hey, Frenchie. What's your question for Ye?
It was this discussion on Facebook yesterday saying that if your man picks you up and his sister's in the front seat, should his sister get out and let you sit in the front?
How far are you guys going?
Maybe 4 or 5 years into the relationship.
No, she meant how far you going in the trip.
No, I would say this. If I was the sister, I would get out.
Exactly, as a matter of respect.
I would do that, you know, but and sometimes if my boyfriend picks me up and his sister's in the car, I'll be sit in the front and she won't. She'll move and get in the back. But I think that's more on him to make that, because I think you as a girlfriend shouldn't be the person to be like, hey, you got to get in the back. If she doesn't move and get in the back, then the boyfriend needs to be like, hey, let her sit in the front. That's what should happen.
I agree. I just wanted another opinion because it was a big thing yesterday on Facebook. So I was just asking.
Y'all over there talking about some real highbrow stuff on Facebook, huh? Gotta start coming over there and getting some of that education.
I will say, if y'all only going a few blocks, it's not that big a deal.
If I know she's going to get out before me, I don't have a problem with that. But if it's a long ride, I'm definitely not sitting in the back.
Right, not no 4-hour trip. All right.
Yeah, definitely not. Thank you.
All right, have a good one. All right, well, let's go to another line. Hello, who's this?
Brittany.
Hey, Brittany, what's your question for Ye?
Okay, so I've been with my boyfriend for 4 years, right? And we moved in together after 2 years down in another state where I was from. And then he wanted to move to another state. And so we did. So we've been living together for 2 years. And now that we moved back to the other state where he's from, now he wants to break up. Now my kids are attached to him and everything, but now he wants to break up.
Well, it looks like you guys are broken up because you can't stay with somebody that doesn't want to be with you.
Right, but why did you let me move all the way up here if that was going to be your decision? Because we haven't even been here for a full year yet.
Because I was going to say a curse word.
Wow.
But, yeah. I mean, look, clearly he doesn't want to be with you, and if somebody wants to break up with you and they're telling you that, you can't force them to stay.
But he tells me the reason why we are breaking up is one thing, and then yesterday we got in a big argument, and now he's talking about, oh, we breaking up because it's your mouth, because you don't know when to shut up. But I'm like, really though? If I ask you a question, I feel that you should respond with the truth answer.
It's interesting that he doesn't want to work on things, and that should tell you a lot.
Well, at first he was saying he did want to work on everything, and that we could get together or whatever, we just need some time apart. And now he's like, no, your mouth. You got too much mouth.
Girl, sounds like he's back home and he wants to do him.
Yeah, I guess so. But you know, should I just move back where I'm from then?
I think you need to do what you need to do for yourself, okay? He said he wants to break up with you. That means y'all are broken up. So now you got to worry about you and your kids. That's the priority, not him.
Right. All right. Well, thank y'all. I love you guys. I listen to y'all every morning, so thank y'all.
Thank you for having no taste.
Thank you. All right. Ask Yee. 800-585-1051. Now, we got rumors on the way, Yee?
Yes, Cardi B had to cancel and reschedule a show. Find out what happened that forced her to have to do that. You know, she's very honest about everything.
All right. We'll get into that next. Keep it locked. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get to the rumors. Let's talk Michael Jackson.
It's time. She's spilling the tea. This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee on the Breakfast Club.
Well, let's not talk Michael Jackson for real, because Aaron Carter is going to be on a marriage boot camp, and he's going to be sharing his thoughts on Michael Jackson and all that controversy from Leaving Neverland's documentary. Now, here's what he had to say in exclusive footage that People magazine got from that series.
I learned that I had revealed and put out everything else except for that. Participating in family boot camp literally gave me the strength and the ability to feel more comfortable in my own skin. Michael was a really good guy. He never did anything that was inappropriate except for one time. There was one thing that he did that was a little bit inappropriate.
What could Michael Jackson have done that was inappropriate?
He's still holding him down, though. He's still saying he's a great guy, so I don't know what it is.
Now, he said, I told the same truth years ago on Twitter. He said this, for no money. So what's your point? I'm also his best advocate, considering my story validates he didn't do anything. Effing chill. My book is about my life, not about my life revolving around Michael. Everyone back the F off. So it could be some backlash that he might have gotten from even mentioning anything that might have him scared to say what it is. But I guess we'll have to watch Marriage Boot Camp to find out if there's any more information.
I was on a flight with him one time, and he looks bad. He looks like he's in bad shape, like really, really bad.
I don't know. I haven't seen him in person, so I couldn't tell you. All right, now Cardi B, she had to reschedule a concert, and that's because she's had plastic surgery, and she simply has to rest. Doctors had encouraged that she just shouldn't perform right now. She has to let swelling go down. That takes time, and her body has to fully recover from her plastic surgery. So they're saying she needs a couple of weeks of rest and relaxation. So she's been very open about the fact that she's decided to undergo some procedures after giving birth, and now she can't just get right back to work. She did say she's very disappointed. She hates to let her fans down, but she wants to make sure that they know they will see her in September. So.
Well, Cardi needs a rest. I think last week she said that she wasn't supposed to be doing the show because she just had liposuction, but she wanted to work for her fans. And sometimes, like what I said.
Section.
Oh, liposuction. Yeah, sometimes you just got to rest. Sit down, rest, and let your body heal.
Yeah, and have some time with your baby. I know you out there getting that money, getting that shmoney, but your body is important. And if it's telling you got to slow down, you got to slow down. All right. Now, Whoopi Goldberg, speaking of slowing down, according to her doctor, she had a 1 in 3 chance of dying from pneumonia. Okay, on Monday's episode of The View, she was joined by her primary physician, Dr. Jorge Rodriguez, and Martin Greenberg, who treated her during her 3-week hospital stay. And here's what they said.
I could barely understand Whoopi what she was saying. Because she was...
teeth were chattering.
Her teeth were chattering.
It was bad.
She was gasping for air.
Yeah.
And then when she said, I just want to lay down and go to sleep, I'm like, oh, hell no, you're not going to sleep.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't know. I mean, it just sounded very serious.
Yeah. But when she said, I just want to lay down, did that do it for you?
Absolutely. I tried not to sound scared. Tom says I did. I was afraid she wasn't going to wake up.
That's what I'm saying. You got to take these things seriously.
Absolutely.
All right, and shout out to Max B. His birthday was yesterday, and he put out a new single. It's his first single in 8 years, and French Montana is on it as well. So, before we close out the rumors, here's a little snippet for you.
In the middle of the madness, Little Charlie sent me up sick to sick. I was left alone. I always wanted you to know that it didn't matter what we did. They couldn't pull us apart.
All right, what do you think?
Is Max B coming home this year? We don't know.
Let's see what Kim Kardashian can make happen.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
All right, well, I'm Angela Yee, and that is your Rumor Report.
All right, thank you, Miss Yee. Now, up next is the People's Choice Mix. Get your request in. Let me know what you want to hear. 800-585-1051. Let's go. It's the Breakfast Club.